Hi everyone! I've got a bunch of apples that are getting a little bit kind of old and a bit bruised and they need using up. So I thought, what about making an apple cake with them? So this morning we are going to learn how to make an apple cake, spiced apple cake. So let's get started. What you're going to need is 3 apples, maybe 4, just depends on the size. So we're just going to start off with peeling them and chopping them up, slicing them up. So get your potato peeler, we're just going to give those a peel. So once you've peeled that, we're just going to cut that in half and in quarters. And then we're going to take the seeds out of there. Don't really want seeds in our cake. Put those to the side. Any bits of the skin we want off. And as you can see, I've got quite small apples, so I'm going to be using a few more than 3 today, and I've got a few to use up, so it's a good way to just use them up. The other things you can make, I know an apple crumble is always nice, isn't it? Now I know, Anne, you make a good apple crumble. I've seen that. Right, so once we've got these in quarters, we're just going to slice these nice and thin. There we are, and we're just going to do that with all of our apples until they're all done. Right, so there we go. So this is for the cake and this is for the worms. I can take you out on a little worm farm tour if you like later, and we'll give these apple peelings to the worms. They love it. Okay, so we've got everything chopped up. So let's go grab our nice big bowl. The good thing about this recipe is it's an Annabel Langbein recipe and it's a super easy one. So you don't have to do too many steps, it's just throw it all together. So we're going to start off with getting a melted butter. So we've got 1 cup of melted butter. So we'll just pop that in here. Now that melted a little while ago and ooh, it's gotten a bit gluggy. Must be cold where I am. Chuck that in there. Now we're going to add all of our dry ingredients. We have got our flour, 2½ cups of flour. Sift that into the bowl. Now you can just do this in a pot, so if you've melted your butter in a pot, you can just carry on using your pot, just throw it all in. There we go, there's our flour. We have 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We have 2 teaspoons of baking soda. We have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg for our nice spices. So we've got a little mix I've got of white sugar and brown sugar. It doesn't matter, you can use whichever sugar that you like. So the recipe asked for 2 cups of sugar and I thought that's actually quite a lot. So I've actually reduced that down a little bit. I've only got 1½ cups of sugar because we are going to be adding fruit and things, so we don't need all that sugar. Possibly we could have even added less, but I just reduced it a little bit to make it slightly more healthy. It's not really healthy, it's a real treat food. Right, so pop your sugar in and we're going to give that a mix. The next thing that we need to add is the eggs. We have 2 eggs. So we're just going to beat these eggs up and pop that into the mix. And then we're just going to mix that all together. Look at that. Next we're going to add our apples, our chopped up apples. We're going to add 1 cup of chopped dates. Like I said before, this recipe has got a lot of fruit in it, so I think you could reduce that sugar level down a little bit. We've got natural sugars that we're adding to the mix, so that's going to make it really yummy. And the final ingredient is our walnuts. So we have 1½ cups of walnuts. It's going to be a big cake, so lots of really good things in this recipe. You've got your nuts, your dates, your apple. It's going to be really, really good. Wow, look at that. Fantastic. So we've got our tin here and we've got it all prepared with our baking paper already on there. And we can just pop our ingredients into the tin. So we're going to do a little something special for on top. Now you'll see that I've saved some of the apple here, and we are going to do a little decorative apple topping. So we've got some sliced apple. Like I said, I've got lots of apples. They're all just about, you know, not very nice to eat as apples. So we're going to do a little apple topping here, using some extra chopped apple, and we're just going to create a little pattern on the top. And on top, we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar, just so it's going to caramelise on the top there while it's cooking. Now this recipe, as you can see, it's quite a big mix, so it's going to take a long time in the oven. So hopefully we have got the patience to wait for that. There we go. Simple, easy recipe to use up some of your apples and a delicious afternoon tea treat. So let's go pop that in the oven. So we have our oven on 150 degrees. So it's quite a low temperature for cooking a cake, but that is because it is quite dense and it's going to take about an hour to cook at least. So we have an hour on 150, and then we're going to turn it up to 190 at the end for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long it takes to cook. Now this is going to be a great treat. There we go. That's Barry. Jeff. Now you can see we've got lots of happy worms in here. There's that Sally the slug. Get her out of there. Oh, let's see how it turned out. Oh, now that looks tasty.
A few minutes later.